What is happening? Okay. Hey y'all, it's me, it's your girl, the glow up is, and I'm so excited to be here. I got the hiccups. So crazy. But anyways, before I leave today, I wanted to make sure that I got on here to give us a word of encouragement, right? And then to also let you all know next week I will not be on live podcast. Next week, I want you to enjoy your families. Happy Thanksgiving. Um, const- Constantly being reminded of what we're thankful for and what we're grateful for, right? The glow up is so important because we have to practice it. We have to really become it, right? We want to make sure that we're growing to glow. We're making sure that we're growing in every single way that we can, whether or not if it's spiritually, right, mentally, emotionally, right? We attack all those different things, but we start with spirit first. And so if we can fix our spirits first, right, then we can begin to really get to where we got to get to in this life, in this journey, because that's what we do, right? At the Glow Up is we grow to glow, even when we're uncomfortable, even when there's things that we're masking, right? We're constantly being tested with trials, tribulations, people testing us, right? People all up, just help trying to grow us, right? This is a growing opportunity. And that's exactly what we have to look at these things for. So tonight, y'all, I wanted to kind of continue on, right? What we've been talking about, which is love, the love series. And the love series is just oh my gosh, it's so dear to my heart because at the end of the day, right, the foundation of anything, right, is a relationship and it's love. Like whichever relationship that you ever want to obtain, it should always be the foundation. If there is no love, you should run. Did you just hear what I just said? If there is no love that's in it, you should be running. There should not be anything with you trying to fix it, mold it, none of that. Because if that person don't have the capabilities of loving you, right, the way that God has intended to love you, and this is only if you choose God as your Lord and personal Savior. Because other than that, I'm not talking to you, right? And that's okay, right? Because again, we're still growing, we're still learning, right? And so, in order to receive the love that God has for you, because guess what, believer or unbeliever, God is still waiting for you to receive His love. He just wants to pour out His love to you. And so, that's what the glow up is all about, right? And I promise you, when I'm talking to y'all, I promise you, I'm talking to me too. So, that's always the blessing too, right? And I'm always just thankful for that because y'all don't even know. Like, your girl literally be out here trying to do the best that she can do every single day. And even in sometimes even showing love sometimes can be hard for me to do, especially when it's people that I really don't want to necessarily show the love to on that day. Now I love them, but I be just ready to draw boundaries. So we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight, right? We want to start talking about a little bit more and expound upon love. And I was like, you know what, maybe we should stay in this series for a little bit because I think that sometimes, right, we again affiliate with love with an emotion and a feeling that's deeper than that. That's just surface level, right? And we're just talking about emotional, whether or not if it's mental, but again, it all starts spiritual. And if it's not that foundation and that's not the love, again, okay, because each and every single one of us have the capacity and the capability of receiving God's love, but some people just choose not to, believers or unbelievers, right? And that's absolutely fine. But again, that's what we do. I hold you accountable. You hold me accountable. We work through this thing, right? And at the end of the day, the purpose of this podcast is to let you know that you are not by yourself. Okay. And that's just what it is. It's a whole growthing thing, right? And it's so funny, y'all, because I literally checked today and I didn't even know that the podcast is literally 2 years old. Been 2 years now since I've been consistent in this podcast, literally doing these live. I do not record, right? I do not record if I do not absolutely need to. I think I've recorded maybe one, maybe two episodes, maybe two. But I've always gone live. And I pride myself on that because I really like to, interact, right? But I also like to make sure that my peoples knows that I'm coming on here at 5:45 every Friday, right? At 6 o'clock, your girl is on here every Friday, okay? Giving a word of encouragement to myself and y'all. But anyways, we in this thing together, right? So let's talk about it. I know we talked about, and let's recap. So we talked about the two greatest commandments, right? That Jesus tells us to do. And he says to love God with all your heart, all your soul. So basically, everything that you are, right? Everything that you will ever be, love him with all of that. Like he don't want just some of it. He wants you to love him all of it, all of it. Okay. All of it. So even with that being said, right, if we're real technical with everything, we have to be real intentional with where God wants us to be, right? And only for us to be able to be intentional, right? That means that we got to make sure that we position ourselves to be able to give Him all of the love, right? Especially when we received Him. And then the second one is to love your neighbor as you love yourself, right? So we're loving on our neighbors, but we're not loving on ourselves. How is that? I think sometimes we miss out on loving ourselves. We give people love freely, but we don't give it to ourselves. We don't even pat ourselves on the back because we feel like, oh, I don't want to do too much. I want to be humble. And there's nothing wrong with you being humble, right? But I need for you to also understand that a win is a win. And if you are doing some things, right, and you're loving yourself, right? Properly taking the time out to spend time with yourself because this is how God is showing you what love is. Like, I need for you to really be able to say, you know what? God is showing me love. So, because He's showing me love and I'm receiving His love, I can then love myself in full capacity. Like, there should be no limits, no boundaries, right? Because that love should be growing steadily. And I'm thankful for that because I'm going to tell you what, when I sit back and I think about all of the things that I've been through, right? Me giving my life to God at a young age, but then also kind of like doing my own thing, right? And Him yet still chasing after me and knowing that He still has a purpose for my life. Me still not really, right, deterring from that, like not falling away from it, like because I know that I was set apart. And even when I tried to blend in, even with other people, relationships, friendships, all of those things, right, that I wanted to be a part of, God was like, nope, it's an X on your, it's like almost like an X, like something off here. She don't even belong in this crowd, right? Now, the crazy thing about it is that's so wild. And I sit back and I'm just thankful, first and foremost, right, that God has a sense of humor. He has a sense of humor. I'm thankful and grateful for His grace, His mercy that is so sufficient for our lives, right? But I'm thankful for His love that continued to carry me throughout, even when I was putting my own self in danger. Like, I don't know about y'all, but listen, I'm just thankful in reference to that, just to be able to say, listen, I'm receiving God's love. So then that way, when I can receive His love, I can love me properly, right? I know my worth, my value, right? Because sometimes as people, what do? We fall to the wayside and we allow the world to creep in and to try to tell us what love is because now we've been distracted by something that look good, feel good, taste good, all of those different things, right? And our senses can mess us up. Our senses can really mess us up. But again, love is the foundation. So we need to start talking about that, right? And that's what we've been talking about these last three podcasts, these last 3 weeks. We've been talking about that. So I kind of wanted to expound upon that today and just give y'all a recap. So I told you we talked about the two greatest commandments. Then after we talked about the two greatest commandments, which was 2 weeks ago, we also went into what love really is, right? What is love? Like, God, tell me the characteristics of what love is. Define love for me, right? And so, love, right? We found out that love is First Corinthians 13, starting at verse 4. We found out that love is patient, love is kind, love does not keep any records of wrongdoing, right? And we want to put emphasis on these things because this is what God says, right? And so, as believers, we have to literally allow God to continue to guide us and govern us, right? Because if we're not truly in His love to receive His love, in position to receive His love, we can't give it to nobody else. How are we going to give it to that man? How are we going to give it to that, how are we going to give it to that woman? Right? And this is a reality, right? That we all have to go through. And I think that sometimes because we're maneuvering through this world, we get so caught up in, I don't want to be by myself. And I mean, I don't know about y'all, but listen, it is what they call this hibernation, hibernation time, the fall, the winter, all of that stuff is coming up and it's cuddling season. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, heck, I know what that felt like in my past, right? But I don't know what that feels like now. I don't know what it's like to be cuddled under a man, right? I don't know what it's like to have that. You get what I'm saying? So it can make you feel, and the world begins to can sometimes make you feel, because you see all of these, again, Hallmark channels, right? You see all of these holiday love videos. You see all of the stuff for the holidays coming up, and it makes you feel like sometimes you're like, dang, I'm by myself. But I'm constantly reminded, right? Even though I'm by myself physically, I'm not by myself spiritually, right? And then God has also created people, right? He's given me people to be around that I can count myself off as friends, right? And then I also have some family ships as well, right? That I'm being intentional with. Like, I'm being intentional with the love that God has given me in First Corinthians when he says, listen, I need you to be patient. Some people I'm just not as patient with. Okay. And that's crazy, because the reality is, right, sometimes I feel like I'm the one who's supposed to be testing them. And it's so funny because I have I have a few friends. I don't have a lot of friends, but I always tell you I don't have a lot of friends because I'm for real when I say this. I don't use the word friend lightly. I had some friends that demoted themselves to associates. They know who they are. I'm just saying. And that's just what it is for me, right? And so I always try to look at the bigger picture with every single thing, right? Because one thing about it is that I give grace. And I know that God's grace is sufficient, but his grace and my grace are two different things, right? And so I'm learning, right, to allow Toya to die, but I'm not going to be a doormat either. So I know my value and my worth. And that's where we begin to set those boundaries, right? Because it's all still in love. It's all still in love, right? And it's not saying that you're not interacting with them at all. You're not separating yourself from them at all, but it's just some things that you will not bow down to or break down to, and that is absolutely fine. You have the right to do that, right? You have the right to love them in the capacity that you need to love them in, right? Because it's such thing as healthy love. And I think sometimes, right, we get so wrapped up and so caught up in toxic love because we've seen or been exposed to dysfunction as to what we think or what we depict love to be. And God has literally told us these are the characteristics that you need to be looking for when you want to even connect with a person. Okay. And I'm not talking about just your husband, I'm talking about your friends. Okay. Because it should always start there. Your husband or your wife should be your friend first. Like, you literally should be out here getting to know who they are. Like, there should be no physical contact. I'm just saying, because guess what? Physical contact leads to other things. There should be no physical contact. When it's just your friend, be intentional with just being your friend and letting it be okay with just that. And ask yourself, is this man even being patient and understanding of my needs and my wants? Am I being understanding and patient with his needs, right? Am I showing kindness? Am I keeping records of wrongdoing? What am I doing here, right? And if you answer these questions, right? Because guess what? A person is not perfect, but again, we talked about that effective effort, man. That effective effort is a real thing, because at the end of the day, we have to make sure that we're doing everything possible, okay, to do what it is that God has called us to do, and whether or not if we are showing up, right? Because guess what? You are a part of somebody else's journey, and I don't take my role in anybody's life, I don't take it for granted. I really, really don't, right? But I know that my friends need me to grow and I need them to grow, right? I need some of my associates too to help me to grow, right? And that's being open and honest with ourselves. And if we can't be open and honest with ourselves, because if we're not truthful with ourselves, that means that we don't really truly love ourselves. We've been in denial for so long. Y'all, dysfunction is a real thing, okay? You got to unlearn these habits. You got to unlearn these behaviors. And sometimes these behaviors are so deep down inside of us that it even started with the sperm. Did you just hear what I just said? Like, it's so deep, okay, that it started in the sperm. That man that was carrying it, your daddy that was carrying that sperm, okay, had some things that was inside of that sperm, okay? And your mom met your mom's egg and developed and came you. I'm just saying, it's some things that DNA that's in your DNA that the enemy wants to actually show you, right? But he wants to also keep you there. He doesn't want you to win. See, a lot of us, right? And it's so funny because the truth of the matter is we have to be mindful, okay? That's why I say love is so important and it should always be the foundation of any and everything, right? The beautiful thing about God is his grace. the beautiful thing about God is his love and his intention with that love. And I'm always constantly just thinking about, okay, God, I see you, I hear you, I love you, I need you, I miss you, and you got this, right? And so I'm always intentional with that. And I'm always even intentional with my friends when I try to, I try to make sure I tell my friends that I love them. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I try to tell my friends too, like, girl, you got this, you doing that. I try to give them compliments, right? Because truth of the matter is, right, is that we all need it. But the truth of the matter is it starts here first. It starts here first. So if we're not loving the source, and the source, right, is giving us the love, and we're not receiving the love to allow it to penetrate us, right, we won't know what our boundaries are. We won't know how to choose the right people to be a part of our lives, right? And so that's why I say too, is like some of these things, right, we don't have any control over, but thankful to God, right? Because even though the sperm, the DNA is there, right, it still doesn't create you. It doesn't matter. You still get to choose. Okay. You still get to choose, even though it's in your DNA, right? You get to go to the Father and seek him out. You get to go to the Father and ask him, right, to keep you covered. You get to go to the Father to ask him to help you with those issues, right? Because guess what? Guess what that stops? That now stops the generational curse. That now stops all of the things that the enemy was trying to come after your daddy or your grandpa or whoever, right, in your lineage, right, to come after them. Because guess what? We can't keep getting mad at the enemy for doing his job. His job is to steal, kill, and destroy. I know sometimes we get irritated with the enemy. We say to him, boy, bye. Because I know I do it all the time. Boy, bye. All right, I ain't got time for you. Good boy, bye. You see what I'm saying? I tell the enemy that. This is me being real with myself because I love me, right? And it starts here first, is that if I can't protect me and love on me properly, I can't even go to the enemy and tell the enemy he got to go back to go back to the pit of hell where he belongs. You see what I'm saying? Because no, not over here you won't. Not over here you ain't. Okay? Because listen, we have authority, we have power. And a lot of times, man, we don't even realize that the power that we have is love. It's love. It all starts with love. And that's a real thing for us, y'all. So I'm just constantly thankful for that. And I'm constantly just thanking God already for just in this love series, like us just examining our relationships, right? Us examining our family ships. Anybody that you just have a relationship with, period, right? Just start examining those things. Just start examining those relationships because it's so important, right? Because they play a major role in your life. They can be distractions, or they can be assignments, or they can be purpose filled. And my whole thing is, again, is that they all serve a purpose. They all have a purpose and a mission, right? But the truth of the matter is, don't you want to fulfill purpose? Why would you continue want to be around people, right? That's just an assignment, because when the assignment is done, it's finished. Like you get one paper to do, and that paper is due by this time. Once that paper is finished and completed, you ain't think about that paper no more because you got your grade already, right? So we supposed to have moved on, but because we fell in love, okay, because we thought we knew what love was, okay, we thought we knew what love was, okay. I'm talking to me too. I'm talking to me too, y'all. I promise you, I ain't pointing you out. I'm talking to me too, okay. We'd have chose wrong. We'd have just got all up in our feelings and we chose based on feelings. We chose based on what we saw. Like what we see. Are you tall, dark, and handsome? Oh, okay, you giving me some attention. So I'm gonna entertain this. Oh, okay. Oh, what's that smell he got going on? Right. And this is a whole thing too, right? We begin to create all of these illusions. Some of us, sometimes we can be in denial too, right? That we even have an issue with love. Some of us think that we got it all together. I'm telling you, listen, I've been there. I thought so, but no, I would not ever think that I could even fathom God's love first and foremost. The love that He has for me, I can't even fathom. I can't even understand it. I can't even get that. I can't even grasp that thing. And even when I feel like I'm starting to grasp it, I'm like, God, Lord, and I just sit there and I think about His love. And I'm just like, God, I'm constantly reminded of your love. And it makes me feel so good. I'm just constantly reminded of his love. And so that's what I wanted to talk about on tonight, y'all. I wanted to just be intentional right? With love and what it means to really love. What does it mean, right? To be intentional with partnership, right? And I told y'all we were going to talk about this because the truth of the matter is, man, we're choosing wrong. We out here having kids with assignments. That ain't what God called you to do. Like, listen, the crazy thing is we got to try the spirit by the spirit. And God just showed us all red flags. Listen, I done seen all and still end up in a relationship. How dumb can I be? I'm all up in this relationship, right? Knowing that I see all of the red flags, the address the red flags, and ain't nothing still happening. And the crazy thing about that is, right, is that I just stayed. And who does that? Who does that? Just because I wanted to have somebody near me. I just wanted a body there. But what is the purpose of having a body there, right, with no substance? They can't even pray for you and cover you. You ain't even never heard them pray out loud. And that should be a real thing too. Like, listen, you should be connected to somebody that's like, yeah, I'm gonna just pray for you. You ain't never heard them pray. Out of all the years that you'd have been with them, you'd have slept with them and gave them one of the most valuable things. You'd have slept with them and they can't even cover you and pray for you, but they entering you and they're transferring their energy into you. This is a real thing, y'all. Listen, when I'm talking to y'all, I promise you, I'm talking to me. I'm talking to me tonight. I am talking to me tonight. And I'm constantly reminded, God, thank you for your love. Thank you for your unfailing, unwavering love. There is no man in this world that's going to be able to love me the way that you do. Not even my own daddy, not my brother, not my husband either, right? And the only way that my husband is even going to even try and attempt to even love me that way is if he's connected to you. I don't even want nobody that's not connected to you, Lord. I want somebody that's living it. I don't want somebody, Lord, that's just a talker. I want a doer of your word, Lord. I want a talker and a doer. I want a man that's going to be able to back it up. You know what I'm saying? And that's a real thing. Like, my husband walk heavy because I walk heavy. Like, I can't be out here just connecting myself to anybody, right? How is purpose going to be fulfilled? How is my purpose going to be fulfilled if I'm out here just connecting myself to any type of friendships and I don't see no type of proof in the pudding? Like, listen, told y'all before, listen, we got to taste and see that the evidence, we got to taste and see that it's good. You see what I'm saying? I should be able to see some fruit on your tree because that's the evidence that God is present in your life. That means that God is, hey, I'm over here flourishing. You know what I'm saying? Now, at first, your girl had a couple of oranges on the tree, but Toya got all types of stuff on the tree. I got bananas, watermelon, cantaloupe. You see what I'm saying? I got a whole lot of things out here on my tree, things that ain't even necessarily supposed to be on the tree. You see what I'm saying? Y'all probably like, what in the world? Toya crazy. But listen, y'all. Love, man, it's the foundation. It's the foundation. It's needed. It's wanted. We are definitely going to continue on with the love series. Again, I will not be here next week. So there will not be podcast next week, but it will be the following week, which is, I believe, the December the 5th. That will come back and we will resume on the love series. And I told you that we were going to talk about relationships. So we touched on that a little bit tonight, but I kind of want to go dig a little bit deeper, and we're going to go into Genesis because I want to talk to you about Adam and Eve and how that even came into, and we can talk about the responsibilities. And then we're also going to start talking about these love languages as well, because that's a real thing too. Okay. But anyways, I love y'all. Be blessed. Be safe. Okay, be safe. Safe travels. Enjoy your families again. I'm praying for you constantly, and I hope that you're praying for me too. And I mean that on everything, that I'm constantly praying for my listeners, those who even go back and replay, those faithful ones who literally have subscribed to my channel. I pray that God sends you a blessing that's going to just exceed your expectations. Anything that it is that you've been waiting for this week, let it be so. I touch and agree with you right now. I'm thankful for you. And I will see you in 2 weeks, y'all. Okay. This is what we do at the Glow Up is we grow to glow, baby. It's uncomfortable, but we do it anyways, right? We do it anyway. We grow to glow. I'll see y'all in 2 weeks. All right, y'all. Bye.